main draw win since April.
Yeah.
What does it feel like to just, be back and, make the second round?
Yeah, I think that was a big barrier for me to break through, physically and mentally today to get another main draw win. Like WTA quickly pointed out, my first since April. So I was really excited to get that, and to get that in front of a home crowd was just, such a special moment for me, really emotional and very happy.
3 matches in 3 days. How much are you looking forward to an off day tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to an off day. Just a little extra time to recover and get my body ready to play my best tennis Wednesday or Thursday when I get back out there.
Today you got off to a really quick start, got up 4-1 after yesterday, when you struggled at the beginning. Mentally, were you just more ready for this match?
I think a couple things. First of all, I had a much more clear game plan. After struggling a little bit yesterday, I kind of found myself in that second and third set, really rediscovered the form that I felt that I had been playing with last year during the hard court season. And so I was just a lot more disciplined from the first point today to playing my game and playing my style. And as a result, I think I was a lot sharper. I also had a great warm-up from a local guy, Andy, who's going to Harvard next year. So give him a shout out as well.
Well, as a former collegiate player, I'm curious, what do you think that playing Stanford and playing NCAA, what are the things that a lot of your game that help you now, and what are the things that maybe didn't help you necessarily for the transition or being on floor or whatever?
I think Stanford was so crucial for my development as a player. I went a year early, so I was still very much a scrawny high school kid. I was 17 when I went to school, and I desperately needed those years to kind of, first of all, ground myself as a person, and second of all, to develop as an athlete. And, with the culture around here and such a great Stanford tennis family, I was really able to thrive. I think my biggest takeaways were, the confidence that comes from winning so many back-to-back matches, learning how to build a tournament, deal with soreness, and still come through the next day. Those were really big takeaways. And then, Lily and Frankie really developed my game into a more aggressive style than I had been playing in my high school years. So, I really can't cite any drawbacks for me. I think for certain players, it makes sense to, either skip that level if they're that far ahead, or only play 1 or 2 years, but I wouldn't change a thing going back.
Did you struggle at all with the transition from going from a team environment into tour life is very much less of a team environment? So was that ever a tough transition for you, or did you slip in pretty easy?
Yeah, I mean, it can be really solitary at times, but that's tennis, and I've been playing tennis since I was, 3 years old. So I went through the whole juniors thing. I knew what it felt like to be out there alone and not really have anyone pulling for you. But that being said, I think just really developing those lifelong friendships, actually made the transition that much easier to, playing week in, week out on the road. And I think right now I'm actually thriving because I just came off 3 weeks of World Team Tennis, where I was, again, in that environment, a little more upbeat, a little more energy. So I think it's a really good environment for me to train in.
When you see somebody like Cece Bellis, who's 16, and she's kind of in that area now, what am I going to do here? Am I going to go college? Am I going to go pro? Of course, it's different for everybody, like you say, but if you were going to sort of sell her on the benefits of maybe taking a shot at college for at least a year, what would you tell her?
Yeah, I mean, it's so tough because I haven't sat and watched Cece play extensively. I've seen, obviously, highlight reels from the U.S. Open where she looked like she could be a top 20 player really quickly. But so often it doesn't work out that way for young girls. So I think, it's so personal to, what kind of a couple years that she's having before she has to make that decision, and, what her family feels is important. I really, wouldn't advise one way or the other. I just think, I had a great experience at Stanford, and I want as many people to share that as possible. But, you know, if she thinks she's ready to go pro, I would never tell her otherwise.
Before you got here this weekend, how long has it been since you've been to Stanford?
Oh man, I actually don't know. My boyfriend's family lives about 15 minutes from here in Atherton, so I visit semi-regularly, but in terms of like being on campus and in this scene, it's probably been a year or so.
But as soon as you walk on the court, you feel like you're home.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm so comfortable on that court, it's kind of ridiculous. I'm a lot braver there than on a lot of other courts.
When you get broken at 4-3, fall behind 5-3 in the second set, and the last thing you want to do is go to the third set. Mentally, how did you bounce back so quickly to break serve and then roll off the next 4 games?
You know, it's funny, on that changeover, I called my dad out to have a chat, and I said, I don't even want to talk about the serve game. I just want to talk about the return game. And then I lost my serve. So I was kind of like, oh gosh. But he had said on the changeover, you know, keep doing what you're doing on the return games. Like, it's going to come. You're going to get the break. You know, I bet you get it here. And I sort of did get it there, but I was also put myself in a position where I was behind. So, you know, it actually worked out well, though, because losing my serve there, I kind of had to break her in that next game, and then I carried that confidence that I could break her in that set into my next return game against her, and that was able to push me to a 6-5 lead serving.
Did any shot feel as good as that running forehand lob?
No, that was pretty sweet.
And was it Andy Zhu from Gunn High School who warmed up with you?
That sounds right. Yeah,
Okay.
he's awesome.
All right.
Always keep that local.
Any more questions?
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.